Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. We getting ready to jump right into the show. Special guest, Loki, in the building, man. We coming off of a heavy rain session that took place in Houston. But as they say, the show must go on, even though we dealing with this downpour. But information is valuable, and we've been having information that's been spreaded throughout the links of time. So we'll continue on in that mission and in that accord. And we're going to jump off into, because mainly this is dealing with a guideline for people who are finding their way in society. We fought through and still are fighting through the Willie Lynch doctrine. We fighting for a nationality to where we can claim ourselves versus being up under the title of the colonizer or the oppressor, a title that was given to us, but not out of love, but out of malice. So now we're shaking that off, and now this thing is coming to a head now, to where we are knowing who we are, and now we're getting ready to come with the ideology and the term dealing with us as persons. Now, one debate is the Bible. Even though, now, Brother Loki, which Bible are they talking about?
They talk about the King James Version.
Well, what about the Coptic Bible? That's not a good one to reference? Or what about the Catholic Bible or the Mormon?
I think it depends on who you're talking to. Okay,
that makes sense. That's right. But I'm meaning if the different Christian sects can't agree on the book, then how would they want everybody else to agree upon a book that they all don't agree upon?
Man, listen. So I'm saying, I think that what we've been talking about, blacks, is starting with our national origin. In regards to the religious aspect or just the religion, that's not regulated or relegated to the nationality or national origin or more. In particular, national origin, because nationality in the U.S. is based on citizenship. National origin is something different. That's like if let's say you're Mexican and you were born here, then your nationality would be U.S. citizen, but your national origin would be Mexican.
Okay, right.
So the common ground that we can build on is that regardless of your religion, is that we have common ground as far as the national origin of more is concerned.
Okay, I can agree with that. Before we get started, though, gotta give a shout out to NB Bread out there that's listening, man. Appreciate your listenership. I want to say it's only three things that I would fall up under, that I would allow myself to fall up under. That's Muslim, that's Moor, or Olmec. Anything else you can throw out the window for me. I can't say now, or and if you're talking about African and you say Akibalan, then you got my attention. I did study how a lot of the language in Africa actually came from Europeans through the colonization of Africa. So I don't want to. Me put it like this: if we are dealing with root knowledge, then just let me stick to the root. I don't want to deal with anything came after the root, because a lot of time that causes a lot of confusion.
Right.
So now, the Olmecs. What happened to the Olmecs?
Yeah, good question.
And the reason why I say that is they named every indigenous culture and Native American term, but they left out the Olmec. Why? That's why I say deception is protection. Why you leave out the Olmecs? Why would? We're gonna go a little bit deep, but I got to ask you this question though, or you can expound on a statement. But actually, the question: Why do the historians in 2019 purposely leave out information when you got Google, when people are awoke now? Why we can't do fair dealings when it comes to history?
What stories you talking about?
Okay, like for example, how can you leave out the legacy of the Olmecs in the terminology? And this is coming from the Webster's revised and updated version of the thesaurus, and it gives the term of Indian, and it lists all the way to Muslims, to the Jain, to the Sikhs. It gives every Native American tribe from the Pawnee to the Cherokee, so everything that was over here. But they left. They even talked about the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayans, the Toltec, but they did not mention the Olmec. And you cannot tell me that Webster Dictionary never heard of the term Olmec.
Mm-hmm. Right. So for us, when we see something like that, we know that's something we need to look into. It's something that is as prevalent in the mind of conscious people as the Olmecs, and we know that that's something that we definitely need to look into. And I would even suggest for those who are interested in knowledge, the YouTube search Brother Bobby Hemmings Speaks to Nuwaubian, and he actually goes into detail about some of the history of the Olmecs, and most importantly, he gets into the spirituality of the Olmecs as it evolved over time in the present day.
Right, because they tried to say that they just vanished off the earth.
Mm-hmm.
We can't file for that, because that's an important piece to the puzzle. And if you notice, nobody black in America that does the DNA test comes up with traces to the Olmec tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Even you can't tell me we don't have that in us too.
Right.
But it shows it's nowhere. You just go totally. So you're right. It's something in there we need to study then, because it's something valuable that they want hidden. Okay, I just wanted to get that portion out the way. Now we moving on, because we riding, man. We traveling right now, bruh. We traveling. So we finna go. We finna travel to another topic, and that topic is nationality. Now we getting into because we bringing it to the present date. Well, no, okay, we're gonna bring it to the present date. Present date. How important would you say is identity, or knowing who you are?
It's extremely important. It's crucial, and the Anglos that were involved in the triangular slave trade, they went through great measures in order to strip our people of their identity. And, that those measures, they continue to this day in regards to politicians. It's just something that's not spoken upon and on these some of these huge platforms that's out here with millions and more subscribers. It's not spoken upon as much when it comes to national origin, nationality, identity, and like we talk often about. One of the key things to me is the cultural aspect. Is that when you identify yourself as something, then there's a cause and effect that comes with that. So if a person says that they're black, or if if they say that they're, like we talked about on podcasts before, is that even if they say that they're not a part of any particular group, is that if you identify yourself as nothingness, then there's still even a category for that.
Right.
You know, there's nothing new under the sun, so there's nothing that anybody can claim that they're a part of that somebody else ain't thought of or spoke upon. It ain't no way around it. Mm-hmm.
So you saying if you go around just deeming yourself as, if you say, well, I'm a Negro, and you if you make that statement to the public, then there's actions and characteristics that goes along with being a Negro in a certain way that a Negro would be treated.
Specifically, if contractually, you know, if someone signs off as a Negro or black or African American or what have you, there are those particular racial classifications are defined. You know, and depending on where you're at on the globe, you know, there are different definitions for these same identities. You know, if you're in a Spanish-speaking country and you're identified as Negro, then there's definitions that come behind that. And we know that when it comes to, you know, people who look like us, that these are some of the most persecuted people on the planet, and that's all because of the shift that happened in 1492 after the last Moorish stronghold in Grenada fell. And then when Spain and Portugal took over, their way of doing politics was upheld so high because, you know, for them to be able to topple, you know, the power that preceded them, which was the Moors, which had the majority of the power, wealth, and resources on the planet, then there was a certain reverence that came towards the Anglos and their politics, so their politics spread globally. So we see aspects of their politics in nations across the planet, and that's one of the reasons why people who look like us are persecuted the way that they are, because Anglos, they're the ones that put that into play in regards to one of the latest, you know, the phenomenon of the triangular slave trade when that actually occurred.
So, from what I'm understanding, from what I'm understanding is when the Moors, like you said, was defeated, Pope Innocent gave a decree that whatever lands that the Moors held, that the Anglo had the right to confiscate and take them wherever they found them on this planet. Right. So when they say that if you call yourself black, Negro, African American, whatnot, that you hold no rights that a white man has to respect, can we say that that's coming from the edict of the Pope?
Well, you know, I'm not 100 on that. That reminds me of was that a part of the Dred Scott case? Is that where that statement was made?
Well, I got the case from that they had no rights that a Negro respected from the Abraham Lincoln 1858 that I read from you. But right. Now the Dred Scott case is very interesting because a lot of people, even to today, they quote that Dred Scott case, and the Dred Scott case is important due to the fact that if you don't know who you are, then you relegate yourself to being a slave. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure indeed.
You know what I'm saying? You just like Dred Scott. How you gonna see what they telling us? See this? I mean, it's coming to a head, and I could be wrong, but it seemed like what they telling us is, hey, look, you all were here before we were here. You all was the original people of the planet Earth. Act like it, accept your own, and be yourself. And if you don't act like how you were when we first found y'all, or when we first ran into you all, and if you acting other than yourself, meaning like what was created out of the Willie Lynch doctrine, then we don't respect you.
Right.
You don't have no rights that we got you not even yourself. You are a created man or a Negro that we made, so we gonna do whatever the hell we want to do with you.
Right. Right. As well, not only that, the people who are holding those titles, these, the Black African American, what they call the ABC, the African American Black and Colored titles, that it's funny that they actually, even the way that they move, it's like, based on the way that it's defined, it's like they're moving according to the definition.
Right.
And I'm not saying all, I'm talking about majority.
Right.
But there is a lot of moving parts to it. It isn't just any particular thing, but this is the one thing that doesn't get spoken upon as much. Mm-hmm. This is the one thing that hasn't actually, just really went viral or really got put to the test on a mass scale. I see right now people are, we see the whole food store. We see there are more things available in terms of healthy options today in comparison to the past where these things wasn't as readily available when it came to, more healthy things that we can get our hands on at the corner, at the grocery store right up the street.
Right.
And Dr. Sabi has had his influence in terms of, I was talking to you, Black, about how I Google sea moss and it's all over the internet. So many people are carrying it and, it's more prevalent now when people are more open to these things. So that's something that is far more prevalent in regards to conversation and actual, are people using it. But it's certain other things that we still haven't, taken a hold of by and large that, some of the missing pieces to the puzzle to get things more in a balance for our people, as a whole.
That's a fact. But on that CMOS, Brother Loki, I'm gonna let you all know you heard it here first on Verbal Pick Radio. I'm gonna let y'all in on some of one of my secret ingredients, right? When I do my chicken and beef sausage gumbo, I throw some sea moss in it. That's my secret ingredient, bro.
Yeah, you feel me?
You know what?
102 minerals that your body is made of. Get it from Brother Black. He gonna lace you up. You feel me? Don't tell nobody get that on the tug.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. You look, I be sitting. They sitting back wondering, damn man, like why I gotta turn this pot up, man, and drink this juice, bruh. Yeah, your body calling for it, man. That's wild. But yeah. But because hey man, we talented like that, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is very important, man, because this all ties into reparations. It ties into the future of your lineage, for the simple fact that, look, man, they are trying to, when Trump say we want to make America great again, the only time America was great was during slavery time. And why was America great during slavery time? It's because they got 100% profit and free labor, and they sat back, and that's how they were able to be the leaders of the world. Anytime, it's like any job. The greatest time they ever have if they can work you for free and keep the profit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
why you think reparations is coming up? Because everything has its time. Look here, this is what they saying. Look here, man. It's like, okay, before I say that, it's like this. It's like this. It's like Midtown. It's like a lot of black neighborhoods, right? Like South Park, where I grew up. That's what they do. It's like on the southwest side. Everybody see it. If y'all don't catch on to the routine, this is how it goes. Okay, yeah. All right, I tell you what, we'll move y'all into these areas, right? But we gonna pull our stores out of here. We gonna pull factories out, whatever, and you can have it. We gonna let you have it for about 25 to 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll sit back, and after that, if nothing is being built and if nothing is being made use of, then we'll come in and take it back over. That way, there'll be no complaining because we're gonna create food deserts, and you're gonna be glad to see us come back in your neighborhood. We're gonna put some subways up. We're gonna start putting new little shopping centers up. We're gonna put some cell phone, mobile, and AT&T up around your area. But before you know it, you're going to see our faces, though. You're going to see Caucasians all up in your area. You're going to see white women in them little shorts walking their dogs. See the dudes running all up and down your block. Because they mind is, we going to give you enough rope to hang yourself. We're going to sit back and see. But they going to be quiet about it. They're not going to put no money into it because they want to see what you going to do with your tax dollars that goes into the city. Like a lot of politicians say when they get out of office, and black folks be like, man, you was in office. You had this spot for 4 years, 6 years, and you ain't did shit for the community. And they say, well, you ain't calling and asked me to do nothing, so I ain't do nothing. You know what I mean? That's the game. So they going to say, hey, man, how y'all live? They say, well, look, you was putting this amount of money out of taxes into the system, but you didn't ask us to do nothing with your money, because they keep that on the low, because that justifies them to slither on in, sneak in like the snake, and start taking over one little bit by little bit. And then the funny part about it is those so-called black politicians that been in office for goddamn centuries, they know how the game is played, but they ain't finna say nothing because they getting their bellies rubbed. You know what I mean? And it's the game. The game is, it's all over again, man. It's a cycle, and it's all. But the wisest among us, what we say the 5% among us, see this, and we say, well, look here, people. Let's unite. Look, man, I'm going to tell y'all something. It's easy to get out and do a song where I'm saying, excuse my language though, but it's easy to get out a song where I'm saying, man, fuck these bitches, fuck these hoes. I'm going to shoot up every motherfucker on the block, nigga, so and so, and get paid. But it's hard to do a song saying, look, man, we need knowledge of self. We need to build. We need an economic development plan. We need to teach these children. That's hard. That's the hardest thing you can do, is speak something positive to the majority of the black community. Because don't nobody want to hear you. That's the sad part. So when you find gentlemen, see, that's why I'm always, when y'all see that I had Loki on the show more than anybody, tell y'all something. My whole goal was to get 50 subscribers on YouTube, right? If I got 50 subscribers and they listen to what I'm saying and what Brother Loki saying and what the guest saying, you'll be the smartest 50 on the planet. And out of that smart 50, you can run. You can run your area wherever you at. Because this knowledge is not for entertainment. It's for building minds. And then think about it. We taking ancient knowledge. Tell me what we doing, man. It's almost like alchemy, man. It's almost like alchemy. We take ancient wisdom and apply it to today's genetic memory that's locked in the subconscious, and we pull it out in 2019 through 2020. And that take a lot of work, a lot of study, and a lot of energy to pull on this universe to give the people something that they can ride with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So y'all, whoever listening, respect the mind and respect the time, because we it's not promised to keep coming to you so free and frequently. So yeah, I just want to say that. So yeah, just to say that, respect Brother Loki time, respect his mind, because the pull on the mind to go into this energy field and pull out knowledge to keep people upright, and just to even put the thought on your mind, you gotta give the props to that, man. That's where it's at. Cause we can easily talk about BT News. Yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine, BT News, whatever. I mean, yeah, people want to hear, yeah, whatever. But this is food for your soul, food for your survival. So that's what we do. So yeah, so out of the any 50, that's all we need. That 50 gonna run the world. Gonna run the world as time progresses. So that's what it is. So we finna ride. We riding to the next phase. We got another stop, man. We gonna ride till we get to the last stop. At the last stop, we gonna let y'all off the bus, man, and we finna carry it on in. You did. So on this last step, this last step, man, is the conversation that T.I. had, and was Killer Mike there?
Yeah, Killer Mike is there.
Okay, Killer Mike
at the Revolt Summit.
What was it called?
The Revolt Summit.
The Revolt Summit. The Revolt Summit. The Revolt Summit. I believe that was held in Atlanta too.
Mm.
But at the Revolt Summit, it sparked the interest into everything that we were saying. But we've been talking about it. This is nothing new for us. We've been talking about it. But as it becomes mainstream, and as they was asking P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, young man was saying, you talking about voting, let's vote on what we're going to call ourselves. He said
Jay Morrison.
Huh?
Jay Morrison.
Oh, Jay Morrison?
Yeah, Jay Morrison.
Okay, Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison was saying, okay, let's vote on what we're going to call ourselves. Pan-Africanist, Nation of Islam, or Moors. Now, the Nation of Islam and the Moors, you can say go hand in hand. But how does the Pan-Africanist fit?
So my proposal is, and I tell the Moorish Americans all the time, put down the U.S. flag. I know where that comes from the early 1900s. At the time, that may have been something that could have been useful. We don't know, or I would just say that I haven't looked in depth enough into when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was utilizing it in what way and what was all of the reasoning behind it. But I know in 2019, it serves absolutely no purpose, and it gives out the wrong message. All we need, I just say, first and foremost, me personally, the two flags that I fly is the Moorish flag and the Pan-African flag, because I'm a Moor and I'm a Pan-African. And, as far as Moors are concerned, whether you're Asian, Latino, whether you're African American, all of these particular, we could say racial classifications, all are entitled and to utilize the term Moor as far as their political status is concerned, and as far as their status is concerned. And, because you got the Moors in the Philippines, and we know that they have Spanish influence and Asian influence, and You have, of course, us, as Moors, and so it's pretty much covering our gamuts, and as far as Pan African, the Pan African ideal is that people of African descent united. So to me, that covers all your grounds. I mean, what else do you need?
So you saying under the Moors, there's more unity across national boundaries, or different, what they would call different races of people under the Moorish terminology.
Definitely. I mean, to me, more from a lot of what it covers so many different groups of people. It's being utilized by so many different groups of people that it's akin to indigenous to me, and it's a term that covers a vast, amount of grounds, and Pan African, for the ones that they don't necessarily want to use the racial classification of Moor, then we're gonna uphold the Pan African flag as our second flag, instead put that U.S. flag down and pick up a Pan African flag, so we can have some real solidarity, with our brothers and sisters,
Okay, now I gotta ask you this, because meaning that you one of the few people that can answer this question, non-biased, and both sides will respect your answer, because just as with the Moors, it's the same with the NOI. It's memberships from all races, all the way from Mexico to Middle East, Caribbeans, just like the Moors, right?
Right.
Can you see the two uniting as one and bring them out and bring it all together?
Yeah, definitely. You talking about the NOI and the Moors?
Right.
Yeah, my suggestion to the NOI is to utilize the term Moor as far as how we're contracting for the purpose of doing business at the highest level. Because, none of this, I'm not dogmatic about none of these things. If it was another term, if it was Olmec, or if it was Asiatic, or any term, if it was black, if this term was going to be the best thing that we could utilize in terms of doing business globally, then I would utilize it. This ain't an emotional or favoritism type of thing. For me, this is business,
right.
And that's what I would suggest to the NOI is to, push a line to utilize the race and national origin of Moor, because in terms of contracting, it is a first class status, point blank period. It is a first class status to utilize in terms of doing business. And for the people listening to this, I want them, whenever they hear us talking about national origin, nationality, race, and things, always think business, because that's the perspective that I'm coming from. I'm not coming from no dogmatic religious, I get at the Moors all the time, in terms of what we could do to upgrade and to evolve what we got going on, because it ain't about dogma. I'm not the type of person where you're gonna come to me and I'm gonna, tell you everything. A lot of times I'm gonna tell you the problems first before I even tell you, where everything is going according to plan. I'm always looking for a solution. I'm a solution-based type of person. So, in the NOY, they're known for their discipline, and, the FOY, being able to protect, so we've talked about, private security firms, and then also the NOI has mass numbers and alliances, so the only thing that's really missing is the business aspect in terms of contracting under the racial classifications. And the reason why that's important is because all the nations on the planet have a nation flag and creed, and the thing that's in particular about the Moors is that the Moors is already on the law books. It's already ratified. We already got treaties. We have access to indigenous rights and international law, any and everything, and that's why, I say that is the best particular route to go, because if you look at, like, let's say, even the Turks, which comes up a lot in the law books. You see the Lascars, they come up here and there. You see the Asiatic, I haven't seen it much, but I've seen the term come up. But the thing about these terms is like, yes, we could utilize these terms, but they're not across the board. They're not on the books as much. There is no term that is a first class status that's in the law books, ready to go, ready for us to contract with, more than the term Moor.
Right.
Spelled in that particular way, Moor, not Moorish, not Moorish American, not Moorish national, not, any other particular variation in terms of here on this land. And this is also in regards to how the Anglos have put certain things in place. And also, if we ever said this, the reason why there's so many laws on the books is because the Moors was kicking ass and taking names. So the Anglos had to make all these contracts and all these treaties in order to keep from the Moors taking them on as prisoners of war. And that's the difference, because a lot of the other groups, they were getting washed up. They were getting foot getting put to their ass, so they don't have all these contracts and provisions and rights that were specifically made for them. That's the bottom line, and that is the only reason why it is as such, because the Moors had so much resources, and they were, in terms of even their culture, it was the scimitar, heads coming off. The only thing that led to the downfall of the Moors was the infighting. They split up their factions. Otherwise, we would have still been running the planet. Bottom line, that's a fact.
That's a powerful fact. Now this question is for me, bro. I'm curious, right? Which Moors would you say had the most influence in America, whether the Ottomans or Morocco? I mean, Turkey or Morocco?
Turkey or Morocco?
Yeah, because I noticed, the Turkey was named after Turkey. Morocco? Okay.
Morocco.
Okay. Good. Because I heard references about Turkey, the Turkish in America, the Ottomans. I'm not. Okay. There you have it. There you have it. But still, our one fam. Yeah. Right. So look, man, appreciate you riding with us. I appreciate folks listening. We getting ready to let y'all off the bus, man. We approaching the last stop, man. We getting ready to put the brakes on this thing. Brother Lowe, any last words, man, before we hop off?
Yeah, man. Last words is, I'm just going to reiterate, I don't want people to get misconstrued that I'm speaking upon these things like it's the end all, be all. All I'm saying is that when you hear me talking about these things and you hear us talking about these things, we're talking about business. We ain't talking about no kind of dogma or no type of religious zealot type of perspective. This is business that we're talking about. Yeah. And we're already have all these contracts in our pockets. We got driver's license, Social Security. And if you don't care to do it for yourself, do it for your little ones. Do it for your children, because the ones that came before me, because they didn't reserve the rights, and, they just didn't know, because my guardians and the guardians before them, they didn't reserve those rights for me. Now I got to put in all this time, which takes away time from me being able to do music and being able to invest and do all. I got to put this time in order to set up, get the status in order, so that way my son don't have to come behind me and say, damn, my father, he didn't get these things in place. Now I got to dedicate all this time. So do it for your little ones, set things up for them to be in the best position. You want to get their credit score to 800 by the time they reach 18. Also get their status in order, because that's all business. You want people, people are going to give you a hand clap for getting their credit to an 800 score, so when they turn 18, they're good. But don't forget about these other aspects of business. Just because, you might not be aware of how it actually comes into play and how, it is utilized. If you tune in and you check it out and you look at, go check out, Kingmaker TV, go check out Mirror Chris, Check us out. Check out some of the things that we got to say. Contact us. DM us if you have any questions. Go to Moorish Empire on Facebook. Go to the group. Go to Mirror Kush on IG. Go to Moorish Empire on IG. There's so many sources, but make sure you go to the right sources, because if you see a Moor picking up in a U.S. flag, you're in the wrong place. And if you see Moors that are putting emphasis on the sovereign citizens movement and getting into all this, this funny style language, I've already utilized all that stuff. That stuff, that's not the direction to go. That, it's ultimately, I don't want to say it's completely useless, but yeah, damn, I mean, it ain't much. You ain't gonna get too much meat off the bone, man.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot of bones. It's gonna be a lot of sticks and seeds. You ain't gonna get too much meat off that bone. So stay away from it. Mess with the people that we're speaking. We're speaking upon these people for a reason, because we didn't already did the due diligence. We didn't heard all of the Moorish groups. We didn't check them all out. Been to all their websites. I didn't have a personal conversation with a lot of different Moorish groups. I still know them. But I'm saying that if you want the best information, go to the sources that we're talking about and know this is about business and this ain't got shit to do with dogma. I'm flat out, man, I'm in the coaches, man. So what I look like, engaging in dogma. Right. I don't care nothing about that, man. I'm saying, when it comes to doing business, this is the best way to contract. And when it comes to spirituality, the best way to contract is to study all things and be open-minded and put things to the test, experiment with things. If they don't work, then you might need to move on to something else. And
you absolutely right. You're right, because business is one of the things that the colonists said that they would never teach their former slaves, was the science of business. And you can't be whole and complete if you're not doing business, especially in the capitalistic society. Come on.
Right.
So, man, definitely, bro. I appreciate having you on. There's not enough words I could say for your time and your wisdom to share it on this particular podcast, Verbal Pick Radio. Get your EDP shirts, 4816 Alameda 77004 at the Reggae Bodega. And check out Moorish Empire on Instagram with Loki, Instagram, LO /
the number 4 LOKI.
Number 4 LO.
And on SoundCloud, the number 4 LO-KI. And one last thing too, I don't want nobody to get scared because I use the word occult. Occult just means hidden culture.
That's right.
So all I'm talking about is the cultures that was kept away from us when we were born into this world. They told us about Christianity and they told us about the Abrahamic religions, but they didn't tell you about all the other spiritual systems that are more hidden, that are kept away from us on purpose. Our indigenous cultures, those need to be added to the mix as well in terms of what we're putting into the gumbo pot. It's all ours.
Come on.
It's all ours. I ain't telling nobody to kick nobody in the ass. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm talking about programming of the subconscious mind. That's it. Yeah. If you kicking people in the ass, you're going to get your ass whooped. I ain't telling you to do that. I'm telling you to get into some real deal science.
That's right. Stop being so spooky, man. Step on a crack, you break your mama's back. All that shit, that's gone. Just, yeah. We got the mind to deal with all type of subjects, topics, ideologies, sciences, mathematics, and whatnot. We're 36720. We keep rolling. Verbal Pick Radio. We out.
Yeah.